All right, so here we are within PropStream, and what I'm going to do, well, I've obviously already typed it in, but for your sake, I am going to type it in again, and this is the address that I'm going to be looking at. It's actually already here, but just for the sake of the video, I'm going to show you. So the video, your subject property, will show up here, and you can keep this view here. You can change it to kind of an aerial view like that. But here's the subject property. The details here. It's actually a 3. This is actually my property. I own this. Just bought it a couple weeks ago. So this is my LLC, the main LLC that we buy under. We also buy under some partnerships. But just a quick glance at this property detail. You have your address here. You have your recorded specs here. Again, it's actually a 3-1, but at least the 3-1 is what I'm going to market it as. Their estimated value, what I bought it at on 411, just gives you some comparables, all that kind of stuff. PropStream also has a rehab calculator built in, so you can actually go in and customize things. Like if you know your kitchen costs X amount, your windows cost X amount, you can plug all that in, and then this rehab calculator will kind of spit out a rough number. So if you have a team running comps for you, getting some numbers for you, going on appointments, that can be a really powerful tool, and I'll probably make another video on that as well. So here's all the basic tax records on a property, sales, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to click comparables and nearby listings, and now you can actually customize how you want that searched. Your bedrooms or bathrooms. For me, typically, I know most houses in any particular neighborhoods are pretty similar. Rarely ever find a 800 square foot home in a 2,500 square foot neighborhood. They're generally the plus or minus 10, 15%. So I normally just keep it all in there. And then here, these are all your records that come up. They'll go back a couple years, but generally some of the most recent are shown. So I'm going to click here, click it again, and then that will organize it by the dates that are sold. And these are dates that are sold within the tax record. So if something might be sold on MLS, it might not necessarily show up yet, but you can go to MLS and actually see what is active, listed, pending, expired, sold, all that. So you can export it. You can go view each individually. I know 110 East Hampton, very similar house to mine, a little bit smaller. They just bought for 110, and it's fire damage, completely cut. I bought mine for 95, so I think I got a pretty good deal. But I'm going to look at this individual property, and sorry, I have satellite internet at my office, so it is a little slow here. But so this is what you would have here if you're looking at a specific comp. You can go to the MLS details. This was listed on the MLS. Days on market 9. That's really good. Right, you can see agent info. That's for the listing agent. Okay, so back over to my comps here. You can export this. So you could do add to list. I'm not gonna add to list because I don't want it, and I don't want it to take away from the 10,000 that I get a month. So you could add a list. You could save it. You could export it. View report. Right, so here just made a PDF of comparable properties. Right, so if I had this lead, if I had 249 West Hampton lead on Podio, I could export this PDF, upload it to that Podio lead, and then say my sales manager or whoever's going on the appointment can then have this really as their info. So this is the subject detail here. This is my property, Acro Development. Right, so that's how you export that list. Again, you can go back in and look at individuals. You can take out individuals. So because I know this neighborhood where this property is a very unique neighborhood compared to everything else. This area of Fresno is an old fig garden area, so they're old custom homes on really big lots, and then we have this random, really weird neighborhood that my property's in. Everything's flat roof, real plain. So if I was going to comp this area to look at a property, I would really have to know the area, because I know these properties over here, doesn't matter how close in size, anything like that, they're not comparable sales. No appraiser who knows what they're who knows what they're doing is really going to use these comps, unless there's so few comps that they just need to, and then they'd adjust. They'd probably adjust by like 50 grand. My home, that's ARV about 199, 200. If the same house was in this neighborhood, you'd be talking probably 240, 250. That's how big of a jump that little tiny pocket is. So if I was really trying to hone in on a value here, I would be deselecting all of these properties, and I would only keep it in this neighborhood. So you can do that. You could see that that's 16, 15, 12, 6, 8. So I would just be deselecting these. Right, I would do that for all of them. All of the ones that I know are in that same neighborhood. And again, that's just because I know this area. It's really good to know your market. I don't know, that might be all of them. Right, so then now I have 10 that are within this neighborhood. Right, so that's probably where I would really want to view the report, or I want to add to a list. I want to see, were they on the MLS or not? Are any of those cash? Right, so that's really how you would run comps.